Hello, folks! Welcome to the Poly Champions YouTube. This is a replay review of a Bullet Tournament Zebasi game between two champions. Reap3r talks us through his terror at seeing two enemy giants on turn 8, how he recovers after losing the central city, and eventually wins using knights. Let's watch the replay!
Hello, my name is Reap3r. I'm a pro player on the Kraken team. This is a bullet game between myself and a player named Astrea. He is a pro and the team leader of Ronin. He's an incredible player, and I think this game was quite interesting. I spawned with 2 farms, the bare minimum of a Zebasi spawn, so I wasn't too much of a fan of that. But if we go look at Astrea's spawn, he's got 5 farms. He stole all of. I go for a farm, obviously, get that workshop on turn 0. Astrea does the same. And so I go ahead and I try to move towards the center, trying to find a village, but I don't find any, and I end up training a second warrior. My thought is, because I see this tile, and so I'm thinking, okay, my opponent is probably in the west. So I was thinking, all right, well, I can send a warrior to go expand, towards the east, and trying to, beat him to villages and stuff like that. But Astrea, he continues with the one warrior.
That's so interesting. You don't usually see a one warrior opening. I guess he's saving for the giant?
He's saving. He's probably, yeah. I mean, next turn, if he doesn't get a warrior this turn, he can get 2 farms and then get 5 stars back, and then maybe get a warrior then.
We'll
That's
see.
So yeah, I do end up finding. Here we go. I do end up finding that one of those center villages. It's really far away, but I was happy to actually find it. And so my main concern is, all right, well, I really don't want him knocking me off this village. Yeah, so he goes for the 2 farms, get that upgrade. He gets the 5 stars back, but he doesn't train another warrior. And he doesn't train another unit.
That's so unusual. Oh my gosh.
He's just sticking with the 1 warrior. Of course I don't know this, right? Of course I don't know this. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I need to make sure to defend my villages. Hold on. And of course I go riding, right, to try and, if I need to, like, get roads and try and defend this village potentially, but I don't even need to do that. He only has 1 warrior. So I'm over here sweating, and he's over there chilling with his 5 farms,
And now he takes the border growth because he needed that to get the giant.
Yeah. So, and I see this border growth, on turn 4, and I'll let you know, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because I thought, oh gosh, he got like 2 pop ruins, or he got a pop ruin and has like a billion farms, or I don't know. I was like, it can't be good. It can't be good.
Yeah, you're panicking now. You're like, oh, I see that border. Oh no.
Yeah. I'm like, how can I counter a giant here? Like, I got 2 warriors and a rider to my name. Like, I don't think that's gonna deal with a giant. So yeah, so I find another village over here in the east, luckily, which is nice. And I like that this village is actually very center, and I was able to, obviously keep it because he only had that 1 unit. I really wanted this explorer, to go north and like discover everything. But
Oh.
this explorer
Had other ideas.
Yeah, it had other ideas. It had the idea of exploring, the corner, the very corner, in fact.
And
And it
back
didn't
towards
discover.
your capital.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it didn't even discover like a ruin or anything. Normally, there's like a ruin or something along the edges, but there's no ruins here. So
That was
yeah,
disappointing.
but yeah, no. The explorer said, yeah, no party for you. Um, and so here we go. We see Astrea, getting the farm here. Um, I find this a little interesting.
Yeah, why didn't he put the
Um,
farm in his new city to get a workshop?
no, he'll still have enough next turn. He could have workshopped in his North City here, because when you capture, right, you get a star, and
Yeah.
then when you workshop, you get 2 additional stars. So he'll be at 9 and 1. So that's actually just better. I'm pretty sure he's probably just focused on getting the giant, but this was actually a better move, getting the upgrade in
Yeah.
that North City. A slight inaccuracy from Astrea there. But hey, I'm sure I'm gonna make plenty of inaccuracies this game.
He's literally rushing the giant. He is just throwing all
Yeah,
his
he's
resources
just
at the giant.
yeah. So I try to go and trying to find maybe a village up here somewhere. I'm thinking, all right, well, maybe he'll bounce off my warrior with a rider, but I'm, seeing all these farms and stuff. I'm like, he just can't have enough stars, right? So I'm like paranoid. I'm like training warriors in all of my cities, even my capital.
Even though there's
Paranoid.
no threat in the capital at
There's
all, you're just like,
there's there's none. Hey, those cap snipes, man. Man, they haunt me. They haunt me. You don't even know. It's happened too many times.
fair enough.
Um, so Astray gets his first giant on turn 6. And he trains a warrior in his north city and sends it east. I'm actually interested on why he didn't go for the ruin like here. I guess maybe he was trying to expand a little bit more, but so I end up finding him this turn, and I get meeting stars from him, and I go for this nice riding roads play to kind of hop on this village and kill his warrior. I kind of get to this position, and I'm like, wow, I have like a good chunk of the map. Like, I probably have, let's see, it looks like I have one more village over here in the east, so I'll have what, one, two, three, four, 5 cities to his. It looks like two. So right now I'm feeling pretty confident, but yeah, no, that confidence goes away very quickly.
Yeah.
You'll
so
you'll
so you're
see.
saying this game went from paranoia to confidence to being distraught to
Too
right to
terrified.
confidence again.
Too terrified.
Yeah.
Terrified is after the confidence. It was horrible. It was haunting. All right, so he trains some more warriors. So he's just trying to get some units out, I think. And I'm just upgrading my cities, getting those workshops, getting those extra stars per turn. He gets a veteran swordsman.
You got construction there. Yes.
Yeah, he did get construction. But he got a veteran swordsman from this ruin, which I can't see it yet, but it's a very unpleasant surprise, right? Like this was already an unpleasant surprise, but that's another unpleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Um, and so so he goes for construction here. Let's see, he gets 4. Yep, and he uses his monument, and he gets a second giant on turn 8.
Dang.
Uh,
Dang.
so, I'm like, okay, well, I see him place his monument. So I'm like, all right, he probably has a second
Yeah.
giant. I'm like hoping he doesn't, but like that he wouldn't place his monument otherwise. Um, I'm gonna pray on these ruins. I was hoping I would get like double stars from these ruins or like maybe like double population or maybe a vet sword so I can like wall in the center city and put the vet
Mm-hmm.
sword there, like something, something to help me out because I need some help. Um, so I'm just kind of moving my units around, and yeah, his giants are not being too friendly. And he finally goes riding, and he trains his first rider in his capital that turn, and I get to see his veteran swordsman here. Let's see, what do I get from the ruins? I get a veteran swordsman from that ruin, and I get population from the other ruin. So actually not bad. I
But
mean, the
not
veteran
enough to
swordsman.
save that center city from giant annihilation.
No, it's not enough. It's just it's heartbreaking, Look, they why didn't they switch the ruins? Why couldn't I get the veteran swordsman right here and then like the
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm like I'm a little devastated by, not being able to defend that village, but I realized something. Population was actually very, very important here. And I
Mm.
realized that I can actually get my giant this turn.
Oh,
But I
because you
have to
have
get it
roads.
within.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have to get it within this turn or next turn. Otherwise, I can't get it because I will lose the city and that population, right?
And that
Um,
connects to all the other cities. Yeah.
yeah. And so I connect all my cities, and so I have just enough stars to get my first giant. It cost me all my stars, 17 stars, but I think it was well worth it. And I know that I can pop a giant up here. It takes 11 population to pop a giant. So we get 1 for the road connection, 8 for the farms. That's 9, and then the monument is +3. So that's 12 population from this city. So I know I can get a giant there if I put the monument there, and I go ahead and do so just to get the workshop and get a few extra stars for next turn. And he steps on him that city there, um, and he kills my warrior on that mountain. I did something that I don't normally do.
Yeah, you looks like you spent a 5 stars
So
to get the 5 stars back?
yeah, so I spent the 5 stars, and my main reasoning, it's already bad enough that he has this city, right? And if I upgrade it right, he gets +1 stars return when he claims it, but I get 5 stars back, so it's equal. But the worst thing that could possibly happen here is him getting a wall. I was
Oh.
concerned that he was going to road his veteran swordsman in there, and I would never be able to get rid of it,
If he
never.
got a wall, then you couldn't take
Yeah,
it back. It was more a precaution that you were like, okay, this is a wash. You spend 5 stars, you
yeah.
get 5 stars, but you prevent him from getting a wall. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's I'd say like my first major inaccuracy. I was like, oh yeah, no, I can get a giant up here. I can't. I'm 1 star short. I should have counted.
Oh no! Oh no!
Um, and so what I should have done is I should have upgraded this back city first and get stars here, and then upgraded the city, get stars back here, and then train units. Um, but I completely like missed that, and I just go for it. And I get the 5 stars back here. It's like I can still do it, but I end up just like I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, you just
Uh,
like miss not it.
yeah,
If you'd upgraded the other city first, you would have had the stars. Oh.
yeah. Well, I would still be 1 star short, but the thing is I'd have 3 more stars per turn,
Yeah.
which is a major difference, especially when one of my cities is being sieged and it's making 3 stars per turn. That kind of makes up for it.
Yeah. And now you
So
have
that's
this hanging population in that North City that's not doing you any good.
Yeah, and I didn't realize at the time actually that even without the road connection that I can actually get a giant here. So I was a little bit relieved by that because I was really concerned when he sieged. I was like, "Ooh, is it gonna be at 3 and it's gonna lose one when he captures?" But no, it was at 4, so I was actually fine. Um, okay, and so I actually had a little bit of a thought here. I know it takes 10 units, riders and warriors, to kill one giant. So my
Right.
thought process was, all right, well, if his giant decides to push towards me at all, I can throw a bunch of these warriors into it. He's gonna kill my warrior on the mountain there. He doesn't like it apparently. He captures that center city now. Um, he upgrades his north city, gets stars back, trains a warrior in his north city, and he trains a rider. And so he has a bunch of units over here. He's got 2 riders, 2 warriors. He got another 2 warriors over here, and his veteran sword is now healing. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried that he's gonna building up a lot of units to try and maybe kill my giant and go for a cap siege. But so I see this play finally that I can do this and then get the thing. Of course, I see it a turn later. Go figure.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all right. Better late than never.
yeah. So I now get that giant up in the north. So now that I have this giant, I'm like, all right. If he sends one of his giants up here, I can possibly deal with it. Maybe we'll trade giants, but that's better than like completely losing the city. Um, so I'm a little bit relieved. Still training all the warriors in the world. I have a warrior army ready to throw themselves into those giants whenever I want. And I get a little worried here when he moved his rider. I was like, there's no way he has enough units. He doesn't have 10 units. Come on now. There's just no way. And it turns out he doesn't. But he gets climbing this turn and he puts his giant on the mountain here, which is actually a big problem for me because now I believe it takes 11
Yes.
warriors or 12 warriors to now kill the giant instead of 10. I can still like put it into this one, but this one isn't as much as a threat because I have my giant there to kind of defend if it needs to. But I have nothing over here, literally nothing to defend against the giant. And I moved my warriors back, not wanting to give him any like free kills and stuff. Because I need killer. I don't want him getting killer because he does not need another giant. I try to actually apply pressure to his center city here, which in reality it wasn't actually a good move because, um, like I mean I guess it was because it kind of forced his giants to like stay there and try and defend if I do siege. There's no like actual real threat, because he can instantly kill my giant if it lands on that city. He could have went for his north city here and like got
Oh,
that instead.
yeah.
Maybe if I didn't do this, maybe he would have moved his giants and like fought against me. So I don't know if it was an actual misplay or not.
You were probably just thinking, I won that city back.
Yeah, I mean it's in the center of my position. Like all my cities surround it, so it's like a massive gaping hole in my position, right? So I see him moving a lot of units over here, and I'm like, all right, he's gonna probably try and kill my veteran swordsman and maybe siege this city or something. So I get a little worried. And I keep on training warriors. Never stop. Never stop. We're training warriors. Every city, even the North City. I am terrified of these giants. So he gets mining here. I was actually very intrigued that he got mining. And so yeah, he does end up killing my veteran swordsman there, which was really kind of sad because now this city is well, it's under threat by a veteran swordsman. So kind of forces me to move my giant back or move a bunch of units over there at some point.
And he gets
Uh,
another giant. Ah!
Yeah, so I see he gets a giant up there now, and I'm like, all right, well, I don't know how I can hold this city now. He has all of his units there, a veteran swordsman at that, and now he has a giant. Like, I'm like feeling a little bit defeated now, right? I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yes.
Like I ended up saving a bit of stars because all I can do is train warriors here, right? Like I can't really get any more upgrades, and so I'm like, all right, what can I do here? Hmm. A knight.
Yeah.
Knight for burning stuff? Oh my goodness, and maybe just, killing a few of his that sounds awesome. Yeah. No, let me get those. I burn and get a upgrade down here. And I get my first knight here. And I don't think he sees it because I've seen his giants move forward or anything. If he moves onto one of these mountains, he can see my knight.
Can we see his view? Well, we'll
Oh,
see it in a
well,
minute.
it was-
No, he cannot see it. He cannot see the knight.
So, but now I have this, I can't really solve this problem up here. Like, they're guaranteed to siege. So I'm going to lose 6 stars next turn, which was a little bit sad.
Yeah, but
Um,
knights chivalry with Zebasi can be so great because you can burn the forest for farms.
yeah, yeah. Um, so, he kills some of my units. He sieges with the 2 HP warrior, which I was a little perplexed by.
Oh.
Um, but in the end, it made sense because of what he did later on. So here, I think this was probably a significant misplay
Yes.
by Astrea, because this city does not require 3 giants to take it down. I only have 1 giant. He could have sent 2 giants up here and still had one in the center defending, right?
Yes.
But he devotes all of his units to trying to
Yes.
get the city, and so it leaves everything else very vacant.
Yeah, I the same. I'm
Uh,
like, why are all three giants going to the north?
yeah. So, but he doesn't see, of course, my knight. So I get this very nice chain, which
Woo!
I very much needed. And so I realized that okay, I wiped out like a majority of his units. Maybe I can go for his capital. I'm like, all right, this is an all or nothing situation. We're going for it. And I also realize that these warriors are kind of a little useless now.
Yeah.
And also, if I am going to throw them into his giants, I'm going to end up giving him killer, which will probably give him another giant. So I'm like, all right, I need to probably try and keep these warriors away from these giants now. And so I think I disband 2 of them to get another knight in this city. Um, and so I end up moving these a little bit up just to, kind of maybe try and defend. But he surrounds his giants around that city, so he's guaranteed to get that city. Like, there's no way I can obviously defeat that. Um, but it was, a little bit, I don't know, it was
It
questionable.
was overkill. Yeah.
He gets border growth.
Doesn't. I thought he was going to
Yeah,
get population there.
but funny thing is, he has 12 stars left over this turn, and he just doesn't train a unit here. And so I just get a free siege, and he loses 6 stars. Yeah, I just get a free siege, and I see that his capital, it is wide open, and I see
Yeah.
this, and I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna get his capital. Like, there's no way he can defend this, right? Yeah, so I get 2 sieges this turn on 2 of his cities. So he's only making city income from his capital. So I'm like, all right, he's got no stars this turn. I just banned a couple more, and I get a lot more knights. I'm like, okay, I'm just rushing knights at this point. It's like my only opportunity. He gets hunting forestry,
This was
and
so strange to me. I was like, hunting and forestry, and then he uses that to upgrade. And I'm like,
yeah, he has I don't know. I don't know if this giant was really worth it in the center. It costed him like all of his stars. Um, But yeah, no. And so I end up sieging this turn. And so I realized that, I saw him chop a little bit, and I'm like, all right. I looked on his capital, and I had like, I believe, what was his score? It was like 370 or something. And I knew it only needed like three more population to be able to giant. So I'm like looking around, all right, okay, I see one forest, and I see this that can be, it's two population, right? So I'm like, all right, I need to block these tiles if I can.
Yeah.
And so I just go all in. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna block tiles. I don't care if they're empty. I don't care if I don't care. I'm blocking them. I'm blocking them. They're getting all blocked. And I'm like, all right, I got this. I'm gonna do this. And so he ends up, he has 11 stars. He gets one population from the city over here, right? So he's short. He now has one. He needs two more population, but I am blocking the tile that he needs to giant pop me off. And so he can't actually knock me off, and so I end up actually getting his capital and winning the game that way.
Yeah.
But I think he just devoted way too much to trying to get this city in the north, when he could have had like one giant here and like maybe sent it back to his capital to help defend, right? Because then, I mean, I'm dealing with two giants and then plus units from this city, at that time, and so I wouldn't have been able to actually fully probably siege this. But he left it a little bit open, and I was able to kind of sneak in, and my knights got rid of all of his smaller units earlier on, and so he kind of got wiped out by that with only having three cities into my four. And so yeah, I mean, but this game was great. I mean, it definitely had my on my on my feet. When you see border growth turn 4 and then a giant turn 6 and then another giant turn 8, and you have no giant potential at the time, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was looking at maybe archery or a couple things, but I definitely think knights were the right play, and so I am glad I found that in the end. But props to Astrea. He played great this game. I mean, he really, he destroyed me mentally, making me think that I'm like, losing the almost the entire game, when I saw both those giants. But it's crazy how a position can just, get turned around from, just like one small thing. He gave me a chain through all those units, and it provided me the opening to, go for the capital. I mean, this game was great.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching it again. It was a little bit of a roller coaster. But yeah, really interesting Zebasi game. Thank you so much for talking us through it and giving us your thought process. This was fun.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, anytime. I love reviewing games.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. What would you do if you saw two giants on turn 8? Drop your thoughts in the comments. For more Poly Champions games with skilled players and expert commentary, click the links in the description. Join the Discord. Get on a team. The link to the Discord is also in the description. Take care. See you on the next one.